Welcome back, friends, to another The City Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video. Lids87 here, and today I am bringing you guys another global video. And in this video, we are going to be talking about the 3rd year anniversary Global First LD character. Now, before I get into it though, friends, please remember to hit that like and subscribe button, and shoutouts where shoutouts are due to Rem's database, Materiabot, Compendium, Toneberry Troop, and of course to Square Enix, Joshua, and Glacy for doing those monthly community live streams. Thank you very much for putting those together. Now, on January 31st, this is in UTC time, we will be getting the next Abyss event, a lead to the thick of it. Sorry, the kind of like distortion threw me off a little bit. So a lead to the thick of it, and I wanted to show this slide because on the bottom right hand corner, it is confirming that there will be a free multi-draw on this banner, and Ramza's burst weapon will be featured on there. Of course, that character that will be receiving their LD weapon is going to be Balthier, and he will be receiving a costume. Now keep in mind that Balthier will be receiving a level 80 awakening, but they will not receive a rework, and they will not receive LD boards, LD extensions. This was confirmed during the community live stream by Joshua himself. Alright, so just keep that in mind as we go forward with this video. Now this costume, it is a costume from Final Fantasy Tactics, the War of the Lions. So, technically speaking, we have another Final Fantasy Tactics character. Balthier did come out in that game, or he was featured in that game aside from Final Fantasy 12. So, another Final Fantasy Tactics character, yay! But, Balthier, let's go ahead and talk about him and see what his LD is going to be bringing into the game. Now, Balthier, he is a character from Final Fantasy 12. He is a Yellow Crystal Affinity character. He is a ranged thief type character in Opera Omnia, and of course he is the Global First LD character for the 3rd year anniversary. Now, if you're already familiar with Balthier and would like to skip ahead, there will be timestamps down below in the time frame, description, and comments if you want to skip ahead straight to the LD or to the evaluation of Balthier later in this video. Anybody else, I am going to be recapping what Balthier does. Now, Balthier's first ability is called Snatch Shot. It does upgrade to Snatch Shot Plus when he's at 3 stacks of his buffs, Weight of the Sky Pirate. Same thing with his second ability, so I will be talking about the plus version of his abilities as it is very easy to reach 3 stacks of Weight of the Sky Pirate. So with Snatch Shot Plus, he has 8 uses of this. He's going to steal one buff from all the enemies and extend that buff by 1 duration. So if that boss has a really beefy shield, if it is an actual buff, not an aura, an actual buff, Balthier can steal that even if it is inframed. Now this is going to do 4-hit ranged AoE Brave plus single target HP attack. If there's multiple enemies, the Brave damage will be beautiful, or I should say that he can cap out even sooner in terms of the HP dump. This is going to be hitting at a 70% Brave potency per Brave hit if he's attacking a single target. With his passives, the Brave damage will increase to 70%, and with his standard passives, he's going to increase his Brave damage with Snatch Shot Plus by 30%. Upon using Snatch Shot Plus, this will grant him 1 stack of Weight of the Sky Pirate to himself. He can gain an additional stack if the target is broken. Now, let me talk about second ability before I talk about that buff. His second ability, Great Aim Plus. Again, this is active when he's at 3 stacks of Weight of the Sky Pirate. He's going to self-brave heal by 100% of attack, self-brave heal again by 50% of current HP. He will cleanse 3 debuffs on himself based on the order they were inflicted on him. He will steal 3 buffs from the target and then he's going to do a 3-hit range Brave plus HP attack. This is single target. Brave potency is at a 70% Brave potency per Brave hit. With the passives, the Brave damage is going to be increased to 40% if the target is already broken. Weight of the Sky Pirate, let's talk about that buff right now. It is a buff on Balthier for 8 turns. The max stacks is at 3. He will gain buffs based on the stack level of Weight of the Sky Pirate. So at 1 stack, he will gain plus 40% physical attack up. At 2 stacks, plus 60% to max brave. At 3 stacks, plus 20% to attack up. Now, with his own character boards, this will give him an additional 10% up to attack and max brave. And whilst Weight of the Sky Pirate is active, this will grant him Brave Attack Plus, which will grant him an additional stack of Weight of the Sky Pirate if it is currently active. And there's a 40% chance to steal a buff with his upgraded Brave Attack. The same thing is going to be applied to his upgraded HP attack, which he gets with one of the limit breaks with his EX weapon. Additional ability, Steel Brave Attack Up. He has 2 uses. This is going to do a 80% gravity on the target. Gravity is nice, again, because it can ignore defense and ignore Brave damage reduction. He will self-Brave Heal by 100% of the gravity damage dealt, and then he will self-Brave Heal again by 10% of Max Brave while increasing his attack by 20% for 4 turns. Balthier's Call Action, Great Aim Plus Call. He's going to swoop in, do Great Aim Plus. He will remove 1 buff from the target. At crystal level 80, there's going to be more overflow to Great Aim Plus, and now he will remove 2 additional buffs from the target, so 3 buffs total. And I just threw a little note there that there is going to be no LD call action because he is not receiving LD boards. Balthier's EX abilities, Fires of Mordor. I'm just kidding, Fires of War. This does recharge at a fast rate. That is kind of the saving grace for him, truthfully. It really helps him out a lot. But this will cleanse all debuffs from himself, steal 1 buff from all the enemies. This is going to do a 5-hit ranged AoE Brave plus 100% AoE HP attack. The Brave potency of this is going to be at 100% per Brave hit. If there's a single target, Brave damage is going to be increased by 70%. And with his passives, the Brave damage is increased by 30%. Any current active self buffs are going to be increased by 1 turn, and he will grant himself a buff called Snatch. At EX plus 2 out of 3 when the quest starts, he will grant himself that Snatch buff and 1 stack of Weight of the Sky Pirate. That Snatch buff, it is a 6-turn buff on Balthier that's going to further increase his attack by 30%, increase his Stolen Brave overflow by 20%, and decrease all enemies' attack and Max Brave by 20%. After maxing out his EX weapon, you gain access to an A-type bonus sphere. Now, after a party member breaks an enemy, this will raise own break bonus gain by 50%. Time to take a look at Balthier's LD weapon, his LD ability, Tides of War. Now, he's going to have 3 uses of this. He will cleanse all party members of their debuffs. We don't really have a lot of good party cleansers at the moment. Yeah, we have Yuna, but try running her in a Lufenia stage. And aside from that, we only have debuff evaders, debuff preventers in the form of Aphmau or Lena. Now, upon using Tides of War, this will grant Balthier 3 stacks of Way of the Sky Pirate, so max full power, ready to go. He will steal 3 buffs from each enemy and extend that buff by 1 turn. Now, this is a 8-hit ranged AoE Brave plus 100% AoE HP attack. And with his LD ability, he doesn't grant himself a buff, but by just having the weapon equipped or by having the passive equipped, he will gain access to a special effect permanently called Sky Flying Straw. Again, this is a special effect on Balthier with no expiration. Now, with the LD ability equipped, this will grant 1 stack at the start of the quest, and this is a stackable special effect, max stacks being at 5. Now, in order to increase the stacks, he will gain 1 stack after his own turn, Balthier's own turn, not your party member's turn, Balthier's own turn, and he gains another stack after stealing a buff. Now, the only thing that isn't confirmed yet is it once per turn, because if he can steal multiple buffs in a single turn, and if this is 1 stack per buff, he can get up there quickly, but we will have to wait for the official confirmation of that. So I'm going to assume at this current moment, once per turn for 1 buff, regardless of how many he steals. Now, he will gain stats based on how many stacks he has of Sky Flying Straw. At 1 stack, plus 50% attack up. 2 stacks, plus 50% max brave. 3 stacks, plus 20% brave damage up. 4 stacks, plus 20% HP damage up. And at 5 stacks, these effects, he will grant them to the entire party. Balthier is viable. Again, get Balthier off of the bench. Put Balthier on your team. We're going to talk more about this a little bit later in this video. Balthier's 7-star armor. It might be a 7-star armor with the attack keystone, because during the trailer, he was hitting max brave damage tied to the attack keystone. So what the attack keystone does is increase the wielder's brave damage limit by 15%, and any held brave and HP damage limit by 15%. Yes, absolutely get this for Balthier. I mean, regardless of what it is. But with the attack keystone, that means more AoE, 100% AoE HP splash with his LD ability and his EX ability. And his EX ability charges at a fast rate. Pros about Balthier is first and foremost, he is able to steal buffs from from all the enemies. If the shield is a buff and not an aura, Balthier can steal that. Now Balthier has a shield. Look at me, I am the tank now. He is a party cleanser with his LD ability. He can even cleanse himself. He can increase the party stats with his LD ability special effect. He can self brave heal for more HP dumps, and with his abilities, he does non-elemental damage, so that means you can enhance him and imperil the enemies with that same element to make Balthier deal even more damage. He has lots of space for buffs because he grants himself 2 primary buffs with the special effect, so he has 4 slots for buffs, and he is another tactics character. Cons for Balthier: no party healing for a support thief-like character. I mean, he can massively brave heal himself, but not the party. Okay. No utility, no paralysis, delay launches, but that's fine. He is a thief. He likes to steal shit. And buff stealing could be situational, but when it works, it works. And I guess you could say that he does have, lower brave hits, but then again, he's not going to be your primary attacker, but we will talk about that later in this video. Okay, friends, so now we're at that portion of the video. How worthy are they? How worthy is Balthier with his LD of your precious resources? Now, let's take a look at Balthier pre-LD, right? Can't steal buffs, can dispel himself. Okay, RCL can dispel and heal the party too. Well, HP disabling. Why do I need Balthier? Aphmau can prevent debuffs and give brave damage reduction with both types of healing. Why do I need Balthier? Primarily buffs only himself and brave heals himself. So Balthier pre-LD, I would say he is somewhat worthy of your resources. Now let's take a look to see what he's valued at on my worth meter with his LD weapon. He's going to jump up to worthy of your resources. Now keep in mind that it was confirmed that there is going to be a free multi-draw on this banner, so you could potentially pick up his LD weapon for free. So I will admit, when I was watching the Square Enix live stream and they confirmed that he was not going to be receiving a rework and LD boards after coming out after Divine Diabolos, I was a little disappointed. All right, I'm sure a lot of people were, but of course, I let it sink in. It's been a few hours since the Square community live stream, and I'm okay with that. I am completely fine with that, because even though Balthier is not going to receive a rework, if his brave potencies are not bad, even though if his brave hits can be on the lower side. But I mean, the lowest brave potency per brave hit is at 70%. But keep in mind that Balthier, all right, get this through your minds, non-believers of the Balthier, get this through your mind that Balthier is not going to be your primary source of damage. He is a thief. He is a enabler, disabler in the form that he can steal buffs from the enemies. He is a ranged pseudo support thief. Now, if you can get that through your minds and accept that, he's going to be a wonderful addition to your team compositions. He is not lightning. He is not Dark Knight Cecil. Stop comparing him to those units, okay? So, that aside, his LD special effect will work with so many units, and this special effect is a permanent aura out on the field as long as you're at 5 stacks. In terms of the aura, it's going to be permanent regardless if you're at 5 stacks or not. And what that also means, since it is a special effect, it cannot be dispelled by the enemies. We all know in the Lufene era that the bosses love to dispel your party member, so being at 5 stacks and not dispellable, that's beautiful. And the fact that Balthier can climb back up to 3 stacks of Way of the Sky Pirate fairly easily, Balthier will be ready to go in a matter of a few turns, again, just with the Way of the Sky Pirate. Again, let me remind you what his LD special effect does. Plus 50% to max brave and attack, and plus 20% brave damage and HP damage up to the entire party. Pair this up with Lightning special effect to get a 40% brave damage up against the enemies. Pair this up with Sephiroth's LD debuff to increase the brave damage up by 50%. Pair him up with Kurosame, with Kais, even Charlotta or Gabranth, just to take advantage of that HP damage up towards the enemies, or even with Lightning's burst effect. pair him up currently with Dark Knight Cecil, who we just received, and with Dark Knight Cecil's debuff to increase the brave damage up on that target by 40%. And of course, next month with the upcoming Paladin Cecil to really increase the brave damage done by your party members. His LD allows him to be usable again to increase your party member stats and damage. That is the key word right there, the damage, more specifically the brave damage. You guys have seen how useful even HP damage up can be with units, you know, like Coruscant more recently. You know, not only that, he can cleanse the party of their debuffs, and at this current moment, aside from units that can evade debuffs, we don't have a viable, up-to-date party cleanser. Who do we have? You try running her in the current Lufenia stage and see how that goes. Now, this, of course, there will be certain Lufenias where party cleansing will come in handy next month during Theodore's Lufenia, where you cleanse debuffs in order to increase the special counter, or even later down the line if you guys can make them work on Dimensions and Transcendence. I believe it was might have been the third one or the fourth one. Later down the line, he can come in handy there. Now, don't forget that he also increases his own stats with his LD weapon. So even though he doesn't get a rework with his LD, he does increase his own stacks. He does increase his own attack, just letting him hit harder. So with his LD special effect on top of his current kit being able to steal enemy buffs and cleanse the party, he is a good unit to add onto your team compositions. Now, I wouldn't say I put him in the worthy bracket because he's still good. I wouldn't put him pity worthy because he's not broken. He's good, but he is not broken in Opera Omnia. If he would have came out with LD boards and a rework, then he would potentially be on the pity bracket on my worthy meter. But again, that doesn't mean he's not good with that special effect. That's what puts him in the worthy meter bracket. So of course, it's going to come down to team compositions and if you can meet this special counter for that Lufenia. But the fact that Balthier is non-elemental, and if the special counter's increased condition is tied with elemental damage, enhance Balthier with that element, and you can now increase that special counter with Balthier. So when it comes to Lufenia content, yes, I do see Balthier being viable for Lufenia content, depending on your team compositions. You just can't slap them onto any team and expect an immediate win. You're going to have to put a strong team together, you know, pair them up with Lightning, Dark Knight Cecil, or some of those units, and as long as you can meet the special counter increased condition, he is definitely Lufenia viable. I will say this though, friends, if you are still undecided, I would say wait until players put out gameplay videos. Check out some of those videos when he's not Synergy, right, during his own event, because of course he's going to receive a boost. Watch videos of him outside of his Synergy to make that final decision for yourself. But at the end of the day, friends, Balthier with his LD is worthy of your precious tickets and or gems. That is it for this video, friends. I want to thank you guys for watching. How worthy are they covering Balthier with his brand new LD weapon? Be sure to let me know down below in the comments what you guys are going to be doing for Balthier himself. I'm just going to say this right here, right now, guys. Don't give the community managers crap. Don't give the devs crap. It is a Global First LD. Not everybody can be happy, right? But just take it for what it is. It's a Global First LD. Look past the fact, if you're not a fan of Final Fantasy 12, look past that fact and look at the special effect of what it can do for you. All right, friends, so don't give the devs crap. That aside, let me know down below in the comments what your overall thoughts, your plans for the banner. Me personally, I will be chasing after Balthier's LD weapon. It is a Global First LD weapon, content creator, so I am going to chase it. I will pity it if I have to. I'm going to chase it with gems, and I'm going to have fun running that on the global side of the game. All right, friends, so let me know your own personal thoughts and comments down below, and until next time, friends, good luck and have a good one.